Let her be seen, or him seen. Let all of the real you be seen in all of your glory. There comes a point in your journey where, especially when you've been doing this work for a very long time, where it's actually no longer comfortable to shrink. It's no longer comfortable to dim your light. We keep handing our power over to other people and trying to live up to their expectations. And, when there's a part of our spirit that's going, oh my God, I just need to break free. I need to be me. And for too long we've learned to edit ourselves. Don't be too much, don't be too loud, don't be too bold, don't be too bright, don't be too beautiful, don't be too emotional. And those are the parts. What about the wild part of you? Those parts that are really wanting to be seen. What about that wild woman? That sexy, gorgeous wild woman. You see all of the goddesses of the time past, and they wore the sexy clothes and they were in their full body, their full embodiment of who they were. What if you could allow those parts of you all to be seen without editing anymore, without worrying about what other people thinks? Because this is what embodiment is, and it's not about being perfectly polished, and it's not about being perfectly healed and perfectly, integrated and all of that sort of stuff. It's just about allowing those parts of ourselves that are wanting to be seen, not dimming your light, not giving your power away anymore, having those boundaries. She wants to be embodied, she wants to be the dancer, she wants to be the one that's free, she wants to be she wants to be the wild woman. She wants to be all of those things. And, all of this editing and this self-abandonment that we've done for so long, that we're in this time now, this is embodiment. And all it takes is, just once, let that little part out. And then as you do that, let the next part out. Let all of those parts you be seen. Stop hiding. Stop putting those masks on and those different faces and the different hats that we wear. Because ultimately that's what we came here to be. We came to be authentic. We came to be real. Warts and all. I wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm angry, I'm angry. If I'm happy, I'm happy. If I'm sad, I'm sad. Because I feel my emotions as they go through the body. And I don't censor them anymore. I used to, we were growing up, sit down, shut up, be seen, not heard. You don't show emotions. You don't express yourself, and now it's the total opposite. It's like, we actually need to learn to be expressing ourselves and to be free to be who we are. So how does that look to you? Who are you actually really? What are the parts of you that are still pretending and not being authentic? What are the parts of you that are still hiding because you don't want to be judged? Or what are the parts of you that are still abandoning yourself? And again, that's where the 9D breathwork has been really powerful for me, is like, I wear my heart on my sleeve. People know how I feel. I can be angry, but I'm angry in the moment. I don't hang on to it. I don't let it fester. I can be happy. I can be really sad. My heart can be filled with joy, or I can be filled with sadness, or I can be, and it's about being authentic, because when you are authentic, it gives other people permission to do the same. And that's what we came here to be, because people always feel the parts of us that aren't, that we're hiding. There's always an energy that you sort of feel with people. So when you can bring all of those parts together, the breath is the best way that I've found to be able to do this, to be able to integrate all of those parts and to love and accept every single aspect of who you are. So there's a link in the bio for a free 2-week trial of the app. It's absolutely mind-blowing, amazing. There's also a link there for the most incredible community on the planet of like-minded beings that are coming together, that are being authentic, they're letting go of the masks, they are, and just feeling that freedom to be fully all of who you are. And honestly, it's the greatest gift. Someone whose soul's on fire and they're fully integrated. A lot of people feel quite intimidated by it, because it's like, it's so not the thing that we've been programmed to be, but actually it's so liberating. I just wish everyone could feel this freedom, this absolute liberation. The breath brings that to you. So there's always a choice there. So the link's in the bio. Jump into the school, and I look forward to connecting with you really, really soon.